welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I basically wanted to video because it's not really got much meaning, as in like, I mean it's got meaning, it's not like a super like, what's the word, video which is like, it's not super like informative or like let's pick shit out of the world to make things like make sense and blah blah, which usually my videos are at the moment. And to be fair, I will have some life circumstances coming up recently, in the near future, which will be stressful for me. So I'm sure I'll have plenty of content to make video about regarding the serious aspects of the world. Because I do like making those, don't get me wrong, but it's actually more of a different kind of one. And again, a long time ago, I probably made a video very similar to this. It's about like, it's about identity and personal identity, as well as like authenticity though, because it's not about like putting on an identity. I don't think. Because I feel like today, for example, I'm looking rather bohemian for some unknown reason. My hair just looks messy, and obviously I haven't brushed my hair because I have not been up for very long. But I feel like I'm giving off this like bohemian energy at the moment, which is cool, which is fine. But it's also a fact of like, I was let's just find context to this video. I was on this game, okay, and it is called, it's called, I don't even want to go into like what the game is and what's like really, you know, that massive about this game. But I was on it, and I was like, it helps you romanticize your life, right? Okay, because I think there are times in life that it's healthy to romanticize your life because it's a distraction from the inevitable stresses that also surround life. And obviously, you know, with um with this, like it was like a game where you got people, like it was like a story game basically. And it just made me think like it makes you romanticize what can happen in life, because don't get me wrong, I feel like life circumstances come about when, especially when you get older, like I feel like, or just like life comes about where you don't always, like different things come up, you know, you get different social environments, different social things that happen, and you go through different experiences, and that's all good. But it's like life can be like super fun, and I think it's, and I think what it really made me think on this was that like it's not about necessarily like going for an aesthetic or anything, but I feel like regardless of what the world tells you is beautiful, because I feel like the world is very educated on what is and isn't beautiful in the world, and everyone has beauty in their own portion, and obviously there's different social standards for beauty in different places. You know, what someone thinks is beautiful in like the Caribbean, it's going to be not what someone finds beautiful in the middle of Mexico. Do you know what I mean? It's just different. Um, so we got to go with that. But it's also like, I don't know, the character I was playing on it, she like really had her shit together. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I try not to be overly masculinized because I do struggle. It's not like masculinized, but it's the fact of like, I do just have these tendencies to become like very manly, which I don't care about. Like I embrace. Like my friends love me for it. It is what it is. Like I'm okay walking around in a hoodie and joggers and trainers for like the rest of my life. I honestly don't care. Well, like I know how to be a girl. Like when I'm getting dressed, but what I mean is like I'm an alpha female. Okay, people don't really realize that when you become an alpha female, you actually become a gamma female towards the end of life. And I have done a video on being an alpha female, which I actually don't hate that video. To be fair, I would recommend. It was a long time ago, but anyway. So but it's just this factor of like, I have, you have to like find the, like in terms of self identity, what works for you as a person, because I'm getting to that age now where I feel like I'm like 20, 26, almost 27, and it's like I want to be like the like self image that I go for. It's not about like, you change your self image all the time with your experiences and with like your life goals. Because like don't get me wrong, I swear like my self image and my like life image back in like when I was like 5-10 years ago was like a pick me girl basically. When I look back, it was like a pick me girl. Like I didn't go through the pick me girl stage at school really. I went through the pick me girl stage at, well, I did and I didn't. But like when I got into like college and stuff, I used to like wear like super like hoary outfits, and just like a lot of the time like just I can't really describe it really, but it's like very pick me girl energy. And it's like when you get older, you just think let's retire her a little bit. Like she can come back out, you know, because, you know, we are who we are and we respect that girl. It's not like I don't feel bad for myself. It's not like, oh, poor girl, like, she just needed some help. And I mean, she did need some help and she got some help. But it's also that, like, you are who you are. Like, you know, if I want to just be a bit like, if that's like my nature to be a bit like how I was then, like, I'm not going to hate myself for that. And that period of my life was all about respecting myself for who I am, like, not about society telling me I can't do this, you know, society telling me this and men telling me this and I don't have to conform to this and that and this and that. So that was where I was back then, and I'm still in that mode. That's like where most of my videos are. It's like the presentation of it, I think, naturally develops as you get older, and it's not about ditching yourself. It's not about like being like, oh no, I can't be this bitch because she's embarrassing. No, it's about within myself. My soul tells me I have to present in a way which aligns with my mind as it's developed at this time. And it's like, so when it comes to like self-identity and stuff like that, it's like, you know, I feel like it's to the point now where, sorry, it's to the point now where, like, I'm just trying to think. I saw so this game, and I saw this girl, and I just want to preface as well with the whole alpha thing. I don't know if anyone else that's watching this is an alpha, but as you're a female and an alpha, like loads of like female, I mean, regardless about alphas or not, but you're always going to get females that like just don't want to like run on your train and want to crash your train and stuff. They try and fuck you over, and I thought that was like a thing of the past, but clearly, apparently, no, there are still people that want to fuck you over, whatever. But obviously, and we don't let them as much as we can, and we respect them for the human beings they are, but we don't respect their actions. But anyway, so that's what I do. But yeah, so I was watching this game, and this girl, and she's like living her best life, and it's all, you know, taking you through interactions with people and men and work situations, blah blah. She's like living her best life, and she's super like put together. She's got this like super like cute like Polly style off the shoulder short ruffled dress on, and I was like, yes, that's a moment. And I'm not like I need to walk around like a fucking patron bloody saint of the libraries. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be like I mean, don't get me wrong. I've got my ankle length or calf long like mid calf length skirt which I rock that's black. I don't give a fuck. I love grandma vibes. Do you know what I mean? I'll fucking decorate my bathroom in flowers. Like, do you know what I mean? I don't care. You know, I'll fucking do my taps brass. Like, I mean, I don't really like brass taps because I grew up with brass taps, so that's like bad vibes. But like, you know, I'll do shit like to make like the more grandma-y the better in a lot of things. I don't really like floral bedding for some reason. That's the only thing I won't do with stuff. But like, I've got like a nice like yellow shabby chic like photo frame over there, for example. Like, we can do the grandma vibes with like some dried flowers in it, like Pick Myself, for example. That's a grandma vibe thing. Like, we can do the grandma vibes. That's okay. When it comes to actually, hang on a minute. Yeah, but when it comes to actually she completely lost my train of thought there. And so it's not about an aesthetic or not, but it's like it's just the energy. It's the energy that we're talking about. I mean, the aesthetic goes with the energy, right? And I think when you go through some life circumstances, it's not about other people's validation of you. That's what I'm saying as well. You can be whatever you want to be, and you can give weight to whatever you want to give weight to. I've done loads of videos surrounding this, but like, if someone fucks you over, or someone, and I'm not saying abusive relationships are okay, and I'm not saying situations in systems where you get fucked over by a system are okay. That is not what I'm saying. But it's also, and I don't really want to go into that now because it's supposed to be like a lighter video, but it's like, you know, it's about like, you know, if people tell you something that you are, it doesn't mean that you have to give weight to that. And I'm not saying it's easy, but it's like overall you can have the self-esteem of whoever you want to be. Like, not to say like walk around like complete like Delulu is okay. It's okay to be a bit Delulu, but if you're like gonna walk around like blindly like deluding yourself to life and in complete denial about yourself and how you are, it's not about that. I don't stand by that. I think like it's about like knowing yourself, but finding an identity through as part of your ego. Because as much as I do believe in ego death and ego death is good, and I won't get too spiritual about ego death and blah blah, so we're talking about spirituality, but it's like I also think that, you know, having an identity and a goal and a self-image that you want to go for, because I think it's just like the same thing as like when you like look at yourself, like it's easy. I mean, not that you should be like super judgmental, but say if you wear like something and then you like see what it looks like from a different angle, you don't like it anymore, and you're like, oh well, I'll just chuck it out because I'm not really too keen on it. Not like that happens to me all the time, but it's like, if that sort of thing happens, it's kind of like that with your identity. And sometimes when you do something and you see it reflected back at you, and whatever reason you find some circumstance which reflects that back to you, whatever, you can sort of be like, oh, I don't really want to do that anymore. Like my character can change because I just like, you learn by contrast, don't you? I don't want to be like that anymore. So that's kind of good. And but yeah, the fact is, from an energetic perspective, and what I enjoyed from using this game was, um, yeah, this girl like super like had her shit together, like not to the point where like she was like overly emasculating, but it's the fact of like, I feel like I have to stand in my feminist power, because it's that line. I feel like what you aim for, you have to be aware. Like if you're like a strong female, okay, or a feminine male, should we put it that way? Okay, we'll include that. If you're a strong female, it's all well and good to back yourself to be like, oh, I'm a strong female. But the fact is, what I've noticed, and this is the issue I've had in the past, when I try and stand in my power as a female, as a strong female, I often become very masculine. Just because I'm like trying to fight men, as in like I'm trying to like dominate men. Like it becomes like that, and it's like the fact of I don't really care to dominate men, but it's the fact of genetically, it's taken me a while and some development, hormonal development, to really come to the point, and life experience to come to the point where I recognise I am different genetics to what male is. I don't have the testosterone. My body isn't built that way. Various reasons, there are differences between gender physiology, and and it's not about necessarily trying to be better than men. That's never been the goal. But I think you have to place yourself within the society and the collective that we are, in the place that you are. So if you are on the stronger end, like it balances you out. It's like anyone. If you're like a super introverted person, you balance yourself out on the scale of people that are. It's not to say you'll be any less introverted, but you have to land yourself within the collective also on the scale of being an introvert. Rather than not, and that's okay. I would land myself on the level of being a stronger female. It's not saying I'm more an extroverted female or a more confident female necessarily. I do use my amber perfume from time to time to make myself feel a bit better. It's not like I have terrible confidence, but it's also like you do. I think you have to have like a confidence overhaul sometimes, because like life experience knocks you down and naturally will clip at your wings a bit, to the point where you're like possibly at a lower self-esteem. Because I used to struggle chronically with self-esteem problems, like chronically. And it was really bad. It was really, 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 really bad, actually. Um, and I feel like as you get older, it's easy to hide that shit, and it's easy to like fix it, and live day to day, to the point where you challenge your bad experiences. But then when you actually get to the point of like stuff can bubble back up. Do you know what I mean? If you don't fully overcome it. I'm not being funny. Like, I don't even give a fuck if people are like, oh, that's like the worst thing ever, that you've got bad self esteem. Or people are dying and blah blah. I'm like, to those people, yeah, I understand, but also at the same time, fuck off, because I've been in really bad life circumstances and I've seen that shit and I've had my fair share of that shit, and so has everyone. And it's like, do you know what? This is what I'm talking about now. So if you don't like it, please go. That's kind of the energy. And so no, sorry, I'm just gonna like try and keep it together. I did do this video where I had numerology nexus yesterday, and I just saw 333 on my timer, so no, which means like the spiritual universe is surrounding you. So anyway, that'll be what it is. And yeah, so regardless of the people that are gonna like drag you down, you can always come back to yourself and what you want to be. And it's just reminded me that like I do want to be like a strong female, because like I try and box myself in this like, and I almost like land myself in like the dating pool, which is fine because I always go for like submissive men, but I land myself in like the dating pool where I'm like men, like I've often had to like really reduce my like power within certain relationships, because I felt like it's gonna turn them off because I'll emasculate them, which is fine. And I wanted to do that because I'm sure I've been overly masculinized at other times in my life where like I literally just couldn't. I just want, it was like a natural swing back. But at this point, it's like a struggle where I'm like, I have to just like tell myself I'm gonna be single, right? But I'm gonna be within my power to whatever extent that is, because I don't want to be like, I want to be like a strong, confident female that's still obviously going to be a female and not trying to dominate men, but to learn where I am in that in the world, and to be standing that, and not to be too like I don't know, but it's just about to. I really want to get back into my power. And it's not all about like I do think your power comes from what you do sometimes, but also it's not about externalizing your power. Like you can be powerful by doing fuck all. You can be in bed all day and still be powerful. You might feel like shit, you probably will, you know. But that's a symptom. That's a surface level issue. Well, it's not. Sometimes it can come from a lot deeper where people have like mental problems and whatever that can mean that they want to stay in bed all day. I'm not taking away from that. And physical problems and blah blah. What I mean is like it's like not core soul level issue. Um, and I want to think more about what the soul has to do with your self esteem because that is interesting. I think a lot of my healing and a lot of my development has come from a very spiritual, holistic aspect because I do feel like I'm a spiritual, holistic person. Um, and obviously, I do think that sometimes on a cognitive level, you can't always get to the place that your soul wants to be at. Your soul knows where you want to be at, and it'd be great for me to really explore that side of myself because I do think negative self esteem can come from a variety of issues. But anyway, I don't really want to go into it with just self esteem. But I think it's about like being in your power and being a strong, confident female and romanticizing your life to one extent or another. Not always, you know, because there's time and place for normal shit, and life will, you know, smack you in the face, and it does when it needs to. You know, hopefully not too much. But you know, it's like to to do that. It can be a relief from the everyday stresses that happen. To be fair. So yeah, I will probably leave it there because I could just ramble on forever, which I won't. But yeah, thanks for listening.